Donations received, gifts, no receipt, $58,000. Clothing, $31,000. TV airtime, I've got to get you that figure, that total figure, but I think it's around $650,000. I'll get those for you when we get big jobs like this done. The advertiser, that you don't use every day, so put that in the bottom drawer. You know something, this isn't so bad after all. I'm happy about this, I'm enjoying it. Remember, we said the joy wasn't waiting until the end and it's all done. The joy is doing it. Photos of .com. That's going to go in the most front. Right here. Photos of dear .com. .com cat. I can't tell what's upside down and right, but she's beautiful. And her TikTok stopped on April 28th. That would be 3 months and 2 weeks to go tomorrow. So you go right in the front.com. She always did run this house. This is the Channel 6 folder. We don't use that. That's the first one. All about buying airtime. Where we spent the $50,000. How many ads? I don't know. I'll look that up for you. Is it 200 or 100? Email. What do you think about the internet? If anything happens to the internet, you're going to lose your email. So we went and put our email on a hard drive. Then we had a terrible time getting it from the hard drive to a place where we could print it. Or a place where we could see it again on our own computer, not dependent upon the internet. But, so I decided the whole solution is just to print it every day. Delete those that you want and don't want, and then copy those that you do want. So we have quite a few in mail. Here's another email. And that can go in the back. Channel 6 Albany, put it next to the other one. I told you how the whole back of the drawer 10 is photos over the 91 years. Guess what? Drawer 10 is filling up. Optilec. Okay, drawer 10. This is the Optilec. And this is going to go, and if it goes, that's almost the end of all activity. In that regard, saying, I can see on this, I can write on this, write very big, I can see it, and some things I can read on it. And so when this goes, there goes that vision and that ability to run this TV enterprise. So, a project we must start looking at Facebook Marketplace and see if there are any Optilecs for sale around $200 or $300. The ones over on eBay and Craigslist are about $600 or $700, and there's no need of that. So that's a project every day. When we go through the computer phone, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, to go to Facebook Marketplace and try to find an Optilec for $200 or $300. This one, I have four of them, 5 of them. They last for a while and then they just peter out. So I have 3 over in the museum. I gave one to David, and he has been remiss in not getting back to me. He was going to try to repair it. I gave it to him free. And he was going to try to repair it just to see if it could be done, but he hasn't got back to me. However, it's not forever. He might get back. Oh, wow. Ooh, what a heavy one. Die instructions. Well, where do you think we should put that, in the front or in the back? When is that going to happen? What are the die instructions? No doctors, no hospitals, no ambulances. Die at home, die a natural death. Die at home, die a natural death. No doctors. 91 years old, no doctors, no medicine. Now, this body has always taken care of itself, except one isolated instance, and that was Lyme disease. And it was an antibiotic that stopped that. Well, there you are. I don't think you'll fit in there, die instructions. And, oh yeah, and stay in touch with the coroner, the legal death examiner, so that when the coroner comes, they will try to keep, in New York State you have to have an autopsy, they will try to keep the autopsy uninvasive, because the autopsy will ruin the body for the Albany Medical College to give to a medical student who might have to delay his studies because he doesn't have a cadaver. So no autopsy, or if one, a very uninvasive one that doesn't hurt the body for the medical student. Franklin did that, Westchester Medical College. So, die instructions, we're going to put you way in back. I hope that that's... Now this pile's done, right? There's nothing there. Do you think we actually came to the end of this? This one I'll do after you go, because it takes a little time. What's this one? Oh, 3x4 labels. Okay, I guess that can go in the back. Well, I didn't want to do it. But the word was, do it. And you have to do what your conscience tells you that. And you know what? If you stay busy, and sometimes you do this on purpose, you don't hear what your conscience tells you to do. You drown it out on purpose. You get drunk on New Year's Eve, so you won't make any New Year's resolutions. But that's not the way. That makes you very unhappy and unsuccessful and unpopular. So, you go into your sanctuary. You make yourself a closet or a place or a little place, and you go there. Regularly, and you listen. You listen to that tick-tock. You listen to it. Remember, the tick-tock got you started. The tick-tock is going to stop you. Stay with the tick-tock. Thank the tick-tock for doing it all day long. All years long. Decades long. Lifetime long. Can you imagine that non-stop? Where does life start? When does life start? It's quite a while, isn't it, before the embryo has a heart, before the heartbeat comes? Isn't it quite a while before the heartbeat comes? A month or two? 2 months? Life starts, of course, with the union of sperm and egg. But when's the heart? Okay, question. When does the heartbeat start? Now, are there any more? Okay, I think this job is done. Except for putting things away and tidying things up. So there's drawer 9, things you use every day. There's drawer 10. The back half of it is photos over 91 years, and the front part are things you don't consult every day or every week. Now, here are 2 folders to go to the museum, and they are the public access cable TV file, the Glendora Public Access Television Network, from Boston to San Diego, 73 TV stations. So that's for the past year and a half, so that's going over to the museum in the archives. Do you like the open mics? You should go. You should go and tell people what God has told you in your sanctuary that they may not have heard in their sanctuary, although the God is continuous. What is the soul? What is the soul? It is the God that is inside of you, and it is the God that is inside of everybody. Amen. We're all one. Think of all the friends you have working together. Your friend is the recycle people who come and get the recycle. Thousands of friends you have, and we all work together to make the universe go and grow and glow. What should we do? This has turned into a soul-to-soul, share and care, pass it on, and that's what a chat with Glendora is. A hat with Glendora, no longer a cat with Glendora. You're right here though, .com. A Chat with Glendora is the best public access television show there is. Well, that's pretty egotistical. No, it is. Because of its message. What? Because of its message. After all is said and done, the only thing that really mattered is how did you treat others. If you're lying in that coffin and people are looking down at you, the only thing that really mattered was how did you treat others. It wasn't the glory to your ego. It wasn't the great things you thought you did. It was how you treated others. A Chat with Glendora message is no self. You don't do anything for yourself. You help others. All day long you help others. And I know people who make a schedule of this. They look around and see if there's somebody they can help today, and they'll go over and help them for 2 or 3 hours. Take them to the doctor. Something I wouldn't ever do. Remember, no ambulances, and if you call the ambulance, you're going to pay for it. I'm not. Take them to the grocery shop. Take them to a play or something, a movie or something. That's something I wouldn't do either. That's all they do. That's their life, their happiness and their joy. Just helping others. No ego. Helping others, you'll enjoy it. Happiness is guaranteed. You'll get rid of the ego. Selfishness is not allowed. We want you to have it. Peace that passes understanding. Helping others, you'll enjoy it. Selfishness is not allowed. What else happened now? I should tell you about something. You know that I made, or I heard, I thought I heard what I should do was to stop paying $50 a day to have this work done and stand by the person all day long. I couldn't get anything done. I had to stand by the person all day long to make sure that it got done and that the person didn't daydream, but that it got done. Well, the person doing it was tardy, late to work, instead of the morning and the afternoon, instead of 4 days a week, 3 days a week, absentee 5 days of the last 11, and then it was terminated. And I never should have let myself go that lazy. I should have kept up with it the way I'd always kept up with it with 48 years. Doing it all myself, not depending on anybody. Well, I'm getting it back. The TV stations have all of their their TV shows. They're all up to date. In fact, they're way ahead of date. So that's one thing. The vegan commercial to help the animals is being done by George Durnford in Portland, Oregon. Willingly doing it because he's on only one TV station, Portland, Oregon, and a chat with Glendora put him on 40 others. And the biggest ones there are Manhattan, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens. Oh, excuse me, not Queens. Chicago, so forth. And the laundry's up to date. The email's up to date. Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube are up to date. Okay. The U.S. mail is up to date except for yesterday's, because a person hasn't come in to, a volunteer hasn't come in to do it. Making copies on the Epson is up to date. Wayne Collins is taking care of the finances, keeping the record and adding things up and doing the end of the month. The Glendora Vegetarian Club is up to date. I called Goomba's Pizza, and I asked him, if I bring in vegan pizza, will you make my pizza with it? He said yes. His name is AJ. So he's on Route 9 and 20 on the Columbia Turnpike in East Greenbush, and he's going to make our pizzas. And we're going to go there for the next Glendora Vegetarian Club the last Wednesday of the month. The advertiser articles are all up to date. Atlanta is fine. Chat with Glendora is there. We pay $100. Or is it $200? Every quarter, is it? That's illegal. You're not supposed to pay for public access. But we do. I like Patricia. Clayton. DC TV. We haven't sent any programs to DC TV because their requirements are so profuse and it takes a long time to do it. But when we finish Staten Island with their disclaimer, which is illegal, you're not supposed to make a public access producer say anything. It's all, you can't make them say anything, that's all. You can't say this program was produced with their facilities. You can't make a public access control editorial content. So when Staten is done and there's 4 more programs made for Bolton, Connecticut, and Robert Jackson has his 4 masters to go to 15 TV stations, the biggest ones there are. And then I'll sit down and I'll call DC TV and I'll ask them for help and explain to them that I can't see to read and write anymore. I certainly can't see the computer. See if they will help me. And then I'll try to get 4 programs to them. And comes next is a museum. Every day I review something in the index. And then we have to go over there and put where we painted the wall where it leaked and it discolored the wall. Gregory painted it all white. It's so pretty. To move the first 3 columns back to where they were. Put down the nice new rugs. The rugs over there are this thick. It's beautiful to walk on them. It's a lovely place to be, that museum. You've seen it. And file the months filing, June, July, and August. File all those things. And look through columns 25 to 30. Each week I try to look through 6 columns. And Sarah is coming on Thursday from 1 to 3, August 23rd. And she will help me do all that. Because she is the trustee. It's a living trust. And she is the successor trustee. Franklin and I were the initial trustees. And it's funded to be carried down through the ages. And Gregory is the archivist and curator. And he owes it something like $3,000. He's been paid in advance to take care of it every week as the archivist and the curator. And he's good at that. He's very good at taking care of that museum. He has done wonders for it. And then what? Channel 6, all of the negotiations that go on with Channel 6 for airtime, getting the exact minute and second that the commercial is going to be played to help the animals. And then keeping up the payments, trying to find money to buy more airtime. And then I suggested to Channel 6, the news is bad. It's always bad. Not always, but the news is bad. The commercials are bang, 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 bang. I say to Channel 6, give the public some comic relief. Play some free spots, comic relief, where you hear people laughing and having a good time, and then you laugh yourself at the joke, and then you hear the message, go vegan, and help those animals. So I asked them for free spots called comic relief. I shouldn't say free spots. They're comic relief. The TV station needs them. The TV audience needs them. They need comic relief. So she's just given us quite a few of those, I think. And then every day listen to my book about physics. Kinetic energy, potential energy, mass energy, heat energy, thermodynamics. Work is force that moves something a distance. Electromagnetism. I love listening to how God runs this universe and how it's designed and how it operates and what the physicists have found out about it. I love it. Every day that. Usually at bedtime, going to bed at night on a CD. And I got a wart remover. It's a Band-Aid. It has to come off today at 4 o'clock. A back brace. You know what happened to the back? You know what this knee? You know why the crippledness? Why the lameness? When I got to be around 88, I wouldn't stand up straight. I was always leaning over. You know what that did? The sciatic nerve had to stretch itself farther because you were leaned over. If you were up straight, it wouldn't have. Every time I stand up straight, I can walk right. So it stretched the sciatic nerve in the back, and then it goes down to this leg, and it has to get to stretch from somewhere, so it begins to pull on the leg. And